Hello, everyone. I just want to make a short video that talks about the classes that I have upcoming this fall because I find that it's so much easier for me to explain things this way and talk about them than write it all down. So I have a number of classes upcoming this fall, kind of for all levels of astrology on a variety of different topics that I'm really excited about. So the first one I have is in honor of the Virgo new moon. And it is a small, just one-time talk that I'm giving about my work developing a feminine expression of the lunar cycle. I do a lot of work with the moon, as you guys know, if you follow me kind of on any platform. And one question that I've always had is about the lunar cycle being about this kind of story of crisis. And I think, right, we can be task-oriented and goal-oriented, especially in this culture, especially with where we are in history. And my question is about if there is a different way to relate to qualitative time, especially qualitative time as expressed through the moon. So I start with that. It's going to be really cool. It's going to be a weird imaginal space. We're going to do guided meditations. I'm going to kind of try to give you the experience of relating to time in a more feminine, relational way. So I'm really excited about that. It's kind of the culmination of my work in the past year. I've been apprenticed to the moon. It's been my Cancer annually perfected year. And so I've been just really deepening my relationship to the moon. And so this is kind of my gift back to her. So I really hope you'll join me for that if it calls to you. You can find all the information for all of these classes at my website. The link is in the description. The next thing I have happening is my kind of fundamentals of astrology class. So it's called 13 Moons. It starts right around the fall equinox. It meets 13 Monday evenings between the fall equinox and the winter solstice. And it really builds a foundation through your connection with your moon. It's very focused on your personal chart. It's a really small class size. We use each other's charts to learn a lot of the material, and it's really it's an invitation into astrology through the most personal of planets. Obviously, we touch on all of the other celestial bodies, but we really focus on intimacy with ourselves and connection with each other and connection with astrology as a living practice through my 13 Moons introductory class. Now, for some of you that don't need an introductory class, that feel like you have the basics, but you still want to practice and deepen your knowledge and connect with other astrologers, astrology can be a really kind of lonely space because it is a language. And until you make astrology friends, you are speaking that language alone. So I have one of my favorite kind of classes. It's a little bit of a class / group work. It is my transit integration seminars, which is kind of a big, complicated way of saying we meet every other week. I go over the main transits of the past 2 weeks. We talk about the lunation, whichever lunation is closest, so the new or the full moon, and then we talk about the transits over the next 2 weeks. We do a lot of work of integrating what those transits could look like in our own charts. And then the next week, we begin with a discussion of how those transits actually showed up. So it's a great way to practice astrology, to kind of get a really good working knowledge of multiple charts. So not just your own, but your classmates. Again, this is a very small group size. The idea is that we get to know each other. And it's a great way to just kind of practice seeing. So we do example charts. I practice kind of interpreting, what a particular full moon or something could look like through a series of participants' charts. And it's really fun. It's really responsive to whatever you guys are into. And so that means every other week. October, November, and December. And so I kind of open them up in quarterly sections. for us to work through. And so that I do that so it's not just like a drop-in class, so that we have the container of people who have agreed to be there. Um, and so we can really kind of build on that knowledge. And then every quarter, we kind of, if you've got busy months ahead, or you're ready for a break, or you're ready to join, they open up again. Now, the fourth and final one, and hopefully you've made it this far, this is a huge class that I am so proud of. It is my Astrology of Adulting. It focuses on the 3 main transits of the first Saturn return. So this is a Saturn return class that primarily focuses on the first Saturn return, because on the first Saturn return, we have the progressed lunar return and the nodal opposition happening all concurrently. So this is 3 Saturdays in the fall. It is the second Saturday of September, October, and November. It's 3 2-hour workshops with integration times after that. And then it closes with kind of mini Saturn return readings from me. It's a great way to either understand those transits that have already happened, to gain some context and some tools if you're in the middle of them, or to prepare if you are still in your mid-20s and working towards them. So the first class in September will focus on the progressed lunar return and coming into a relationship with ourselves, of taking responsibility for our body, our own needs, our goals, our safety, really coming to reside in ourselves. The nodal opposition focuses on the opportunity that we receive at our nodal opposition to chart a new course and take a new path and change the story that we've been living so far. And then the third focuses on the specific opportunities and challenges of the Saturn return. And I did them in that order because that's generally the order that those transits happen in a life. And so I'm really excited to share them with you, and I'm really hoping it's a container for creating a cohort of people getting to fully experience these things by being invited into a deeper relationship with themselves through the language of astrology, which is my goal as a teacher, as a practitioner, and as a reader of charts. So I hope that these classes speak to you. I hope to see some of you there, and I appreciate so deeply your attention, and really relish the opportunity to share some of the things that I've discovered that have been really meaningful to me with you about astrology.